In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Let's begin, God willing, a new lecture. In this lecture, we'll talk about the topic of packet injection, specifically the monitor mode. Of course, in the wireless hacking section, we'll be discussing more than one aspect. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Let's begin, God willing, a new lecture. And in this lecture, we'll talk about a specific topic, a particular aspect, okay? Of course, in the wireless hacking section, we'll be covering more than one topic in the course, starting from the very beginning and probably the most famous part in the wireless network section, which is, okay, this, guys, is not unique. It's actually a set or a group of together. You get what I mean? Okay? They're called, okay? Right. So maybe someone will ask, what is this tool and what does it do? I'll tell you, the first tool we have, or the first tool among the ones in the Aircrack NG suite, is called, what does it do? It does basically, it turns, for example, a network card. Like that. We'll also talk about this aspect, okay? Here it is. This USB card uses monitor mode. We use it for other things, so we need to switch this card to monitor mode. We use the tool for that. This card can be used. The second tool is for password. We'll discuss each tool in its own section, God willing. Now, today we're going to talk about Airmon and AirPlay. Airmon works as a packet sniffer, or lets you see the networks around you, or find the networks that are nearby. If a network is set to public, you'll be able to see it. For example, if you use your phone and look at the networks around you, you'll notice that there are some networks. Today we're going to talk about, and we'll also talk about, okay? All right, with this you can do a scan or see the networks around you, right? Or it shows you the ones that are nearby. So if a network is set to public, you'll be able to see it, right? For example, if you use your phone and look at the networks around you, you'll find that some networks aren't hidden, right? With this, you can see the hidden and the visible networks. The fourth thing this one does, it does something called dork or on, and it also does, we'll talk about this practically and you'll understand it better, God willing. Then you have this one, which does fake access points, and this one does. For WPA, WPA, and WPA2 encryption. All right, that covers everything pretty well. Now let's move on to the first thing, which is what does packet injection mean? Okay, the first thing is this allows you as a hacker to do something called, okay, to disconnect, like for example, I have, or the network of is connected, okay, which is the one my device is currently connected to. All right, it's called Y84, okay? My device is connected to this network, and the mobile is also connected to the same network. So I carry out an attack, all right? Why do I do this attack? So I can disconnect the devices from the network, okay? Basically to disconnect the devices connected to the network. So when I execute the attack, my device, it disconnects, losing connection. This is used in attacks. To perform such an attack, we need an example, which is the same one I explained earlier. He says you need to have something, okay? And I'll tell you its alternative, which you have in more than one version of alpha, all right? And now we'll talk about how you can buy something like this, and you have its version here, an alpha, the latest version. Okay, so to be able to buy these things, if, for example, I want to buy or I'm interested in this part, we can buy something like this from where? If you go to Amazon and type alpha, you'll find more than one network card or USB for alpha, or the adapter, or the Wi-Fi adapter. Amazon, right? And if you type alpha, you'll see more than one network card or USB for alpha or Wi-Fi from the company or under the name alpha, okay? All right, for example, this one costs 5,200 Egyptian pounds. I don't know how much that is in dollars right now, okay? And as for alpha, there are several types, guys, but for my personal experience, this alpha is really good. You can buy it if you can't afford something more expensive. All right, for example, this one costs 5,200 Egyptian pounds. I don't know how much that is in dollars right now. Okay, and as for this alpha, there are several types, guys, okay? But from personal experience, this alpha is really good. You can buy it if you can't afford to buy the alpha card. You can buy any USB one instead. For Wi-Fi, a basic adapter costing around 200 pounds does the job. However, the Alpha is significantly stronger than its regular card, especially in its output. There are differences between them, like night and day, really. Okay, great. You can buy this one or you can buy that one. Both will serve the same purpose, but this one is stronger than that one. All right, very good. Now, let's open the port, with us so we can talk about a part, or actually, we haven't even explained monitor mode yet. We'll talk about monitor mode in a practical way, okay? Okay, great. Of course, we said that AirCrack NG includes more than one tool inside it, and we talked about explaining monitor mode or the AirCrack tools. First, let's connect our adapter. I have the adapter here. I'm going to connect it to my device. Now it's telling me that a new USB device has been detected. It says, very nice. As we said, it includes more than one tool inside it. We talked about explaining or the tools. Of course, first we connect our adapter. I have the adapter here. I'm going to connect it to my device. Now it's telling me, it says or it shows you the name of the USB. All right, we'll do and select. All right. If we type the command to see the ones currently available, has it connected or what? It hasn't connected. 1 second. Okay? Okay, now it's connected with us. You have its own unique configuration, all right? So we can definitely convert it, right? So what exactly are we going to proceed to do next? We'll meticulously type in the command airmon, then again airmon, and once more airmon. And as you can observe, there's absolutely nothing appearing. Oh, actually, upon closer inspection, also, there's something else to consider here. This part always confuses me, Mohammed. There's no O in Airmon, but sometimes you find one. Airplay has something similar at the end. I always get them confused. Airmon doesn't have an O. If you press this, you'll see the name and continue. No problems at all. Very nice. You'll type airmon ng and then write the check kill command, so it kills any running processes, all right? Then we'll type airmon ng again and give it the name. No problems at all. Very nice. You'll tell it and write the command so it kills any running processes, all right? Then we'll type it again and give it the name of our network card, okay? And then we tell it. We press the enter key. It is supposed to be start first, then the actual network name. Just 1 second, start. Okay. It will then proceed to start, and it will clearly indicate that it has successfully renamed it to WLAN0mon. If we carefully type iWAF config to thoroughly verify that its operational mode has indeed changed, we will certainly find that its mode has now become monitor. All right, that's absolutely great. Everything's perfectly good. So we've successfully used the Airmon NG tool to effectively switch our wireless adapter's operating mode. Now he's going to talk about the crucial packet injection part, but we genuinely want to understand it in a bit more comprehensive detail. All right, everything's good, everything's fine. So we use the tool to change our adapter's mode. Now I'm going to talk about the packet part, but we want to understand it theoretically. I have a simple diagram, okay? I'll bring it for you, just one second. This simple diagram, guys, explains the topic or the thing that the AirPlay tool does. So here's the victim connected to the access point. What happens is this attacker, of course, the attacker performs a deauthentication attack using any tool, or there are tools that do deauthentication. Right now, we're using AirPlay. So AirPlay performs deauthentication or disconnects. What the tool does, right? So this one is connected, right? So what happens, this of course does using any, or there are tools that do this on, so it does or disconnects between these two, right? It works on, of course, to disconnect all the devices, right? Including, right? And we'll also talk about how to do a not part, but this is just a simple explanation of that part, right? We'll implement it practically, right? Very good. We'll tell it. Of course, what exactly? But first and foremost, we absolutely want to meticulously get the essential information, or the specific thing, of course, so that we can effectively give it to the command, so we then proceed to utilize the command. This particular command basically and comprehensively lists all the various devices that are currently active and connected on your entire network, right? We will diligently do that. And now, at this very moment, we've successfully reached our wireless router, the device that provides our internet connection, is located right here. That's the one we're focusing on. We will carefully extract all the necessary and relevant information from it, such as its MAC address and other identifying details. Subsequently, we will then issue the command play-ng in our terminal, instructing it to specifically utilize the wireless local area network adapter, which is designated as WLAN00 for its operations. This ensures we are targeting the correct network interface. Is that clear and understood? We're preparing to proceed with the next sequence of commands, indicated by the -- notation, which typically signifies additional parameters or options. This is deauthentication. For example, send number 100-E, give it the router's info, and say -D, we'll explain this now, -- or VU. You have to write it exactly, just one wrong letter and the whole thing fails. All right, as you can see, it's starting to do deauthentication. All right? Okay, as you can see, it keeps going until it reaches 100. All right? Okay, now let's explain. And maybe someone will ask me, where did you get this from? We'll tell them, -- If you type -- and then any tool and press enter, it'll show you your options. All right? Very nice. The first thing is -- What does this do? On a device, what does this command mean? Aeroplay, I want to give it our network card or our adapter, -D and the number 100, -E, which is the ESS ID. The purpose of -D is that we're telling the Aeroplay tool to do access point detection. Okay. What does that mean? Basically, detection in the access point part. I'll explain. In most modern routers, there's detection for the part when someone tries to DOS attack on the router. So the router detects this and either drops the packet or outright blocks the Aeroplay tool or the MAC address of my device, or rather the MAC address of my USB adapter, since we're using it to perform the deauthentication. an attack on, right? So it does for this, and it does, or it does, or the one for mine, right? Or I mean the one for mine for my adopter, right? Because we're using it to do, right? Pay attention to this because what I'm saying is very important, right? Every word I just said a moment ago is very important. This dash is for an access point or router. Modern routers detect specific actions. What does it do for two cards? The network that we're using, which one is that? That's, of course, the network card or the USB adapter, right? Right. Very good. So let's try, for example, to remove this dash and press enter. Will we be able to execute the command or not? As you can see, nothing comes up and no packets are being sent. That's why. And now it will show me that, based on this, it's unavailable. He can't reach or even see it, right? As you can see. With the dash D, you'll find it actually worked, and we were able to send the packets to disconnect the targeted mart, right? We press Control C to stop this process. Now we understand. What did we learn from this lecture? We got to know the part about, right, how we can switch from one to another so we can use a card or, right. And we also learned how it works, how we do it on, right. Let's stop here, and that's the end of our lecture, God willing. And I'll see you in the upcoming lectures.